Please take a seat for our presentation, a look into Apple's strategic management, prepared for you by Patrick Hutchinson, Megan McGowan, Lindsay Bourne, John Cannizzaro, and Caroline Wilkes. We hope you enjoy. We chose 5 tools to examine the external environment of Apple. First, a SWOT analysis examines the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of a company. Apple has many strengths, but 3 key strengths are brand loyalty, its ability to connect people with social media through networking, and innovation. Brand loyalty is important to companies like Apple because they sell expensive luxury goods which are not currently being sold in this economic downturn. A majority of consumers are on at least one social networking site, and Apple makes it simple through the iPhone, iPod Touch, and other products to stay up to date with the social networking around us. Innovation keeps consumers buying because there's a new product almost every few months. Apple's weaknesses include their high prices, which weren't a problem in 2008 because they had the highest growth, but their competitors have lower prices, threatening Apple's sales and compatibility. Up until recently, Apple's products were not strong enough to be business capable. Their capability has changed since they started using the Intel Duo processor, allowing them to use Windows products, but Apple still has a long road ahead. The Intel Duo processor is a huge opportunity for Apple. A second opportunity for Apple is to look global, which will be discussed further a bit later. Steve Jobs, the CEO of Apple, has had a lot of health issues recently. He has been battling cancer and took a medical leave. Through his medical leave, the stock of Apple dropped dramatically. He is the innovator of Apple, and without him, there are many concerns, including the forward movement of Apple. A second threat is that competitors could imitate Apple's products, causing more of a competitive pull. When comparing competitors externally, it's helpful to make a strategic grouping analysis. It shows where your company is in comparison to its competitors. In this situation, we compared the prices and market share, showing the link of customers' willingness to buy high-priced items. As we know, Apple has high-quality products and people are willing to buy them. As shown here, Apple has low market share and high prices. They may increase their sales once the Intel Duo processor becomes more and more compatible with Apple products. Also shown is how Apple dominates the MP3 player market. Ever since iTunes became available to all MP3 players, Apple's market share dropped slightly. In the third graph, we see that Apple is right in the middle with a middle-priced smartphone and a middle market share. Apple currently only has the iPhone and a few generations of it. Once they have more options, their market share has the opportunity to increase. This chart shows the general environment. The general environment includes demographic, socio-cultural, political and legal, technology, economic, and global. As for demographic, in the economic downturn, not many people are buying luxury goods, which is threatening the market Apple targets. But surprisingly, they had the highest growth in 2008. Another example is technology. There has been a lot of pressure on Apple to improve their products faster, and their products may be too on the go, meaning that they are combining too many products, which may reduce sales of their other products. An opportunity in technology is room for innovation and growth, and opportunity for investments. New investments would help the innovations be produced faster and have more room for growth. Take a second and examine the others. Environmental awareness and scenario planning overlap a significant amount. In summation of the two, it comes down to 2 subjects: things to do and things to watch out for. We advise them to go green, to minimize their footprint on the environment and find ways to limit waste production. We think they should go global and expand their carriers, as well as further customize their products and service to emerging global markets. We also think that they should strive to increase their line of on-the-go products. Things Apple should watch out for are diversification and mergers for the future. Apple currently has 3 sustainable competitive advantages, 1 temporary competitive advantage, and 5 competitive parities. General administration, human resource management, procurement, outbound logistics, and inbound logistics are competitive parities. While they add value to Apple by adding to the efficiency or effectiveness of the company, they are not rare and do not offer a unique advantage that cannot be imitated by another company. The operations of Apple do offer a competitive advantage. The sleek packaging, simplified manufacturing process, which eliminates excess parts, and green production add value to Apple and are currently a rare resource. Increasing technology and lack of unique processing mean that the operations are easily imitated and easily substituted. The 3 sustainable competitive advantages for Apple are marketing and sales, service, and technology development. All these resources add value to the company and are rare, non-substitutable, and are difficult to imitate. All these resources help exploit and capitalize on opportunities, neutralize competitors' threats, and help Apple gain a market advantage over other companies. The value chain analysis views the organization as a sequential process of value-creating activities. The primary activities include inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing, sales, and service. Secondary activities include general administration, human resource management, technology development, and procurement. First, we look at inbound logistics. Inbound logistics involve receiving, storing, and distributing inputs to the product. Apple uses advanced automated receiving systems which create efficiency and organization in their storage facilities. The use of renewable energy in their facilities reduces greenhouse gas emissions and makes production more sustainable. Apple uses original equipment manufacturers to acquire raw materials and key components. Now we look at operations. Operations include all activities associated with transforming inputs into the final product form. Apple capitalizes on economies of scale by using original equipment manufacturers. Apple designs all of their own products and software. Steve Jobs transformed this industry with the realization of how much consumers value aesthetics and began making products to satisfy these customers. Outbound logistics involve collecting, storing, and distributing the product or service to buyers. Apple has started using less packaging on their products, which helps them save money on raw materials as well as on shipping, which is ultimately more sustainable. Online orders are shipped from a storage facility in China. Apple provides customers with order confirmation and tracking capabilities, as well as a variety of shipping methods. Apple's Get a Mac campaign attempts to subtly convey superiority without discrediting their competitors. Apple markets themselves as a lifestyle brand. Apple stores have a distinct appearance and are all set up the exact same way. Apple builds suspense and create buzz by remaining secretive about new products until they are publicly unveiled. Lastly, they use scarcity to increase demand by intentionally creating a limited amount of a new product, which causes consumers to feel lucky if they are able to get one of these products before it sells out, and desire it more if they are not able to get one. In the area of service, Apple has a Genius Bar in each of their stores which provides customers with professional assistance if they have any problems or questions about a product. This face-to-face interaction and personal assistance creates a high level of satisfaction which resonates in the minds of consumers. Apple provides extended warranties on their product as well as free in-store consultation. Procurement includes purchasing raw materials, supplies, machinery, laboratory equipment, office equipment, and facilities. Apple outsources critical components to original equipment manufacturers that are concerned with adding value for the customer. Apple's supplier diversity program gives everyone a chance to be in business with Apple. Apple recently signed a long-term component supply contract worth $3.9 billion, and they were able to do so because of their high quantities of cash on hand. Human resource management includes recruiting, hiring, training, development, and other worker compensation. Apple takes a less traditional and more relaxed approach in their business culture and encourages employees to focus on innovation and creativity. Apple adds value for their customers by consistently hiring the most skilled and intelligent employees. In the area of technology development, Apple has introduced multiple generations of computers, iPods, and iPhones. Their superior industrial design teams and software engineers have set them apart from their competitors and given them a distinct market position. iTunes was one of Apple's most innovative and influential creations. Apple always designs their own software and operating systems. General administration includes general management, planning, finance, accounting, legal and government affairs, quality management, and information systems. Apple appeals to a wide variety of consumers because their products are capable of performing so many different tasks. Apple has high quantities of cash on hand and carries a relatively small amount of long-term debt. When looking at the financial ratio analysis, I'll only be touching on Apple's most valuable ratios. Apple's liquidity ratios are much higher than industry averages. Apple, like many other technology companies, keeps cash on hand so that they are able to make quick investments in innovative technology. Apple's current ratio of 2.6 shows that they are able to cover all short-term debt. Even if inventory does not sell, Apple's quick ratio, which is just under 2.6, shows that even with inventory, current liabilities can be covered. When analyzing Apple's long-term solvency ratios, it is important to know that Apple has no long-term debt. Apple's total debt ratio has increased by 9% over the 3 years, a sign that they are paying off debt with cash from increased profits. Times interest earned and cash coverage ratio cannot be calculated, as they both use interest expense in the equation and Apple has none. This is because Apple does not have any long-term debt in its balance sheet. Now we look at Apple's turnover ratios. Day sales in inventory is 7.6, indicating that it takes, on average, approximately 7.6 days for an item to be sold. Days sales in receivable has decreased by 15% over the 3 years, indicating that Apple has established a strong collections policy. Apple's 2008 profit margin was 14.9%, indicating that from each dollar in revenues, Apple will see approximately 15 cents in earnings. Apple's profit margin is the highest among all of its major competitors. Apple's 2008 return on assets of 15.0 shows that amount of income that comes from assets. $1 of assets produces 15 cents in income. Holding all else constant, Apple could pay for all of its assets using just its income in under 7 years. Lastly, we're going to look at Apple's market value ratios. Apple's price earnings ratio and market to book ratio both dropped in 2008. This is due to a depressed stock price, as stock prices are a factor in both equations. There is no reason to think that both figures will not bounce back as the economy recovers. Through a 5 forces analysis of Apple, we collected that they are not a company that is very threatened by competition in each of the 3 industries in which they operate. They keep the threat of new entrants low with their proprietary technology, extensive research and development, and their own unique PC operating systems. To lessen their chance of threat from substitute products, they strive to provide convenience through their products and services and provide easy access to downloading and obtaining new music. Apple keeps its threat of rivalry among its competitors to a minimum by differentiating themselves, maintaining innovativeness, and continuing to dominate in market share. Their threat of the bargaining power of suppliers is kept low by treating their highly specialized employees well and providing excellent working conditions. Last, they continue to differentiate their products, work to maintain product loyalty, and appeal to emerging markets in order to maintain a low threat of bargaining power from its buyers. Apple uses a variety of methods and strategies to minimize each force of competition by other companies in order to ensure its sustained success as a business. Thank you for your time. We hope you enjoyed our presentation. Good luck next year at NC State. We're glad we got to be a part of your last semester at Elon.